Hello and good afternoon or good evening, depending who you are. Welcome to the, what is it, Thursday stream. Wow, it's already Thursday. Wow, okay. So, welcome, one and all. Hope you had a good past week. And you're getting close to the end of the week. So, yeah, that's good. Only one day left, at least for me. Today is almost gone. After this stream, it's not almost gone. I have something else to do. Hello. This is Live Bytes. Hello, hi. Hi and welcome to the stream. So today's stream is going to be a bit different than what we had until, hey Ahmed, hi Ahmed, hi. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. So hello, good night, Yepokwan on YouTube. Hi, well, yeah, so it's almost good night for me as well. It's 6 p.m. here, 6:10 actually. So yeah, so today's stream is going to be a tad bit different than what we had so far. Well, actually, we used to have these streams quite a lot, and then all of a sudden I switched into my let's see what happens mode, and I did a whole bunch of streams basically on just doing, hey, I'm gonna just try to learn something doing CloudFormation, doing some Terraform, those kind of things, maybe doing some demos. But today we're actually gonna talk about something more concrete. Right, so we're going to talk about a bunch of services that people have asked me about, and I had a nice discussion with my colleagues today on the Africa office hour stream that we had this morning, and I want to really talk about these kind of things because it's pretty important that we understand those things. So, there's no title here. Okay, let me actually switch I'll switch in a moment. So today we're going to be talking about AWS Secrets Manager and AWS Parameter Store or Systems Manager Parameter Store. Those are kind of the two services people often mix. So like, oh, should I use Parameter Store or should I use Secrets Manager? Now, we'll get into the details and when can use which one and when can use the other one. Now, this is not going to be a presentation. I don't have any slides. I don't have anything like that. I'm going to just try to explain you my thoughts and my views on how Secrets Manager works, how Parameter Store works, and where can you use each. And of course, we're going to be doing some demos and, well, hopefully working. I have not prepared any demo, so we're going to do it like raw, see how it goes. First question to the chat, is the sound okay? I think it is. I heard myself for a moment there, but please do confirm to me if the sound is not okay. I just want to make sure that it's not too quiet and not too loud. I can see my voice thing going out. Thank you. Oh, hi, Chris. Hi. The sound is good. Yep. Thank you. Okay, so switch on to the big thing. There we go. Why is there a change calendar here? No. We're not going to be doing that. Let's go to the terminal first. I want to have some backdrop here before I talk, right? So thank you, BG0001. It's okay. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to be mentioning today, actually talking about, let's start with Secrets Manager, right? And before I start with Secrets Manager, let's step back. Let's try to imagine a world where there are no passwords. No passwords. Nobody has a password. There is no such thing as a password. You are somehow magically given permission to do something, right? Imagine you have an application, and this application needs to write things to a database. And this database is I don't know. Let's do a MySQL database. And you want to give this application permission to write to that database. How do you do that? Well, you give it a password. You say, hey, this is the password of the user I've created for you, and this password will give you the permissions to do specific things on that database. That's fine, right? But there's a problem. There's always that password, right? And you have to give that password out to somebody. And that password has to be somehow goes from your mind or from the first time you see it to somebody else. And that's where the problem comes in. That's where a potential issue for a password leak comes in. A bad password can be cracked, can be broken, right? So imagine if there was no passwords. Well, you don't have to look too far. There are things like that, right? If you work with AWS, there are things like instance profiles and instance roles. So if your instance or if something you're running on AWS, a Lambda function needs permissions to write to an S3 bucket, look no further than IAM roles, right? You give your Lambda function permissions, directly your Lambda function, you give it permissions to do something. And then Lambda function can write to, I don't know, S3, or can launch an EC2 instance, or can invoke a different function, or do something, right? You basically magically bestowed permissions against that Lambda function, which is great, right? But we still can't do that for everything, right? Let's say I have, I don't know, I have an application, I have my own API somewhere sitting, okay, let's call it, I have an API running on a bunch of clusters in my data center. I have something that does, I don't know, creates unicorns. I make an API on this cluster and it just magically creates unicorns. And this cluster is running on a bunch of old Raspberry Pis, and it has no IAM integration. It doesn't know what IAM is. It doesn't really, I cannot tell this thing to trust something that has a different IAM policy. Or can I? Well, I can in a way. So this is where Secrets Manager comes in. And Secrets Manager is basically a place where you can manage your secrets. Wow. I mean, okay, it does a bunch more than that. It's a place where you store secrets, store passwords, store confidential and, how would you call it? I wouldn't call it critical, but let's say sensitive information. You can store sensitive information there with a bunch of additional things on top, right? Now, why is this great? Because here's the thing. Here's what you can do with Systems Manager. You can actually give certain parts of AWS, an instance, a Lambda function, a user, permission to reach out to Secrets Manager and get a password. So the password still exists because my lovely unicorn factory doesn't know how to handle anything besides passwords. I can take that magic big old string of a password who will never remember, right? And put it in Secrets Manager. And then tell my application, hey, anytime you want to interact with the unicorn factory, you don't know the password. You shouldn't care about the password. Ask Secrets Manager to give you the password. Then Secrets Manager comes in, pulls the password out, gives it to you, and you do something with it, right? So that's kind of, in essence, Secrets Manager. But you may be saying, well, Darko, you just described Parameter Store for me. Okay, yes, Parameter Store is very similar to that. Parameter Store can do the same thing. Parameter Store, in essence, gives you the ability to request a parameter from a store, and it can also be encrypted. So we can also have security or let's say additional security or safety measures on top of our things sitting in Parameter Store, which is great, right? But there's something that Secrets Manager can do that Parameter Store cannot. So Secrets Manager can actually rotate passwords. And this is very important because no password is a good password if that password is not changed, right? So think of it as this way. If there's a way for you to figure out this password at any point in the world, in its timeline, right? And you can still use that password at any point in the timeline, it's not the best password, right? So ideally, you would never have to know the password. Like if you, like myself, use something like a password manager. So like I use 1Password as my password manager. So I use that for all my websites, for all the basically any password I need to have, I have it in my password manager. And that password is something I don't know. I literally don't know any of my passwords besides maybe 2. And that's important because I don't have to care about those things. And if you store your passwords in Secrets Manager, or I'm sorry, I'm using the term password here, but any sensitive information that can use to identify you, you don't have to care about them. You don't have to care about how does it look. You don't have to care about how do you generate it, to be honest, right? You can use Secrets Manager features, well, first of all, to provision passwords to requesters if they have permissions. And also you can use the Secrets Manager ability to rotate that password so you don't have to care about that password anymore, right? So that's kind of the whole thing about it. And like Parameter Store cannot rotate parameters for you, right? At least not out of the box. But in Secrets Manager, you can basically tell it, hey, every 30 days or every, 15 days, execute this Lambda script. And it, of course, it works with Lambda, right? It's everything, every piece of glue at AWS is a Lambda function. So it's a Lambda function that does something, that creates a new password, stores it there, and then basically you have the ability to access that password. Amazing, right? So you don't have to worry, like, let's say you have a database on AWS, RDS, and database passwords are very important. And I would say like databases are the kind of the last bastion, for a lack of the better word, of passwords. A lot of databases require you to have a password to connect to that databases. So you have an RDS database on AWS and you want to connect to it. Of course, you have a password, or you store your password in Secrets Manager, right? So your application can go, okay, let me reach out to Secrets Manager, get my password. But what can Secrets Manager do is every 15 days, it can actually use that Lambda function. Well, again, it's a Lambda function to reach out to RDS, reset the password to something else, get that value, and store it back to Secrets Manager. So at any point, something else reaches back to Secrets Manager, it will get the new password and it's able to use the new password. So pretty cool. And actually, I think we can start to kind of play around with Secrets Manager to store some things there, and yeah. So let me open up this thing and find Secrets Manager. Also, one of the things that when it comes to Secrets Manager and Parameter Store is the cost. There's a different there's a different type of. I think Secrets Manager is more expensive. So I think it's after the free. There's a free trial. There's a free tier for like the first, I think, 30 days, and after that, I believe it's like 40 or 50 cents per secret. Now, again, unlike Parameter Store, you will not keep tons of secrets here, right? You will keep a secret, and that's it. You know, you may be a password here and there. So don't use Secrets Manager as database, please. You can, but it's expensive. So imagine paying 40 cents or 50 cents per month per field. So yeah, don't do that. So to create a new secret, we just go here and say, and now it has also a couple of things, like it has some secret types predefined, you know, like RDS, the most common use case in this case, right? Or a DocumentDB, Redshift, or some other database. And as I said, databases are kind of the last bastions of passwords, right? This is the things that you need a password for. So let's do something for RDS, right? Do I have a database? Oh, I don't have a database. Okay, let's do something quick. I have a CDK template for RDS. So building in the cloud. I did this last week, so I can just go here and how the source, because Python, and then CDK deploy. Okay, that's fine. I'll just let it run. I'll actually go ahead and create a database for myself as well, manually. So I want to show you a difference here, right? I'm going to create a database like that. By the way, everybody on stream, it's perfectly fine that if you ask me questions and ping me in chat. I'm not. This is not a presentation. I do sound like I'm giving a presentation, but it's still a stream. I just have a bit more structure in my head when I want to talk about than just looking up documentation. So databases, let's create a database. And is this thing being created? It is. I'll do a standard create. I'll do Aurora. Aurora MySQL, that's all fine. Regional, one writer, multiple readers. Production, I'll do dev test. It's fine. Database one, master use. Okay, password. Super complicated password. Right, I hope that works. I will not go R5 large. I need something much smaller for my demo purposes. Ooh, R4 large. Can I do a smaller one? Really? Even if it's I guess Aurora, right? So I'm a person who doesn't know anything about Aurora, so I am horrible on this. I guess. R5, R4. Okay, I'll do R5, whatever. Don't create a replicas. I'll just use. I'll use the default VPC. That's fine. I don't really mind password authentication. See, you can do IAM authentication on RDS, on directly on RDS. That's fine, right? But let's imagine that doesn't exist here. And you can also imagine that this is not an RDS database. It's some other database that exists somewhere else, right? So create database, that should hopefully be fine. I hope I did all the passwords. That's great. So that's being created right now. Looking at this, so this is currently creating all the stuff for me. So I'll be creating 2 databases here, or actually 2 database clusters. If I go to my dashboard, maybe I should have done this before I started the stream. But hey, we get to look at databases being created. Why not? So database, that's all fine. RDS database. I think this will be the what is it called? This cluster, I guess, created from CDK. So it will take a moment or so for this to spit up. But basically what happens here right now, once this is created, I can actually go here and select like a specific database, but I have no databases right now, right? So if I do other type, right? If I could do any other type, right? I can just do a secret key value, right? So I can say password equals, password 123, because that's the super password. Does anybody on chat know the best worst password from movies? If you ever watched one of those 90s hacker movies, if anybody can guess the password they use is in one of those movies, you get a cookie or something. So yeah, they're giving the permission. So this is something I'll call prod a unicorn factory 30, and let's call it I don't know, API. Password for my unicorn API. Thank you, Mr. Trendoland. Yeah, I'll explain a bit more on the part of parameter store as we get to it. Chris Howard, password says password in War Games was Joshua. Yeah, but the other password, if you ever watched that super cheesy movie Hackers from 1994, 5, I think, the password was God, right? A 3-character password, all lowercase. Perfect secure password. So yeah. Okay, so automatic rotation. This is something which happens here. If you enable automatic rotation, you can actually rotate your passwords on a specific interval. So for example, if I say, hey, do it every day for whatever reason, I can select a Lambda function. Now, because this is a custom thing, I have to create this Lambda function to do this, right? So in this case, I would have a Lambda function that would reset this password. Now, okay, we enter into circular dependencies here. My Lambda function needs to have permission to my unicorn factory cluster to do that. So the Lambda that will actually do this must have some password assigned to it. So it's not the most perfect thing in the world, right? I can have this Lambda function query a different Secrets Manager, secret in Secrets Manager to get that password to do this. But again, it's a bit of a circle dependency. So yeah. So if I enable automatic rotation and choose this specific function to do this, that will do that. I'm not going to do that right now because I have no Lambda function. I'll just disable automatic rotation and do that. Next. And it gives me sample code. And this is great because it gives me sample code on how can I retrieve this password. Because you're not going to go into your AWS console and look up a password. No, nobody does that. The way to get passwords is actually to do something in like a proper SDK, right? So this is how you would do it. We're actually going to copy in this entire thing here. So can I select this all and copy and do this? And maybe we can try to do something there. Okay, so I have this unicorn factory API. That's very cool. And this secret exists here. I can actually retrieve my secret from here, right? I can just do this and it will say, oh, the secret key is password and the secret value is password 123 because passwords. But I can, the proper way is actually to get it through something like a piece of code. So can we try to do this? If I go to TMP and say, let's make a directory get secman pw, cd get there, and let's do vim. First of all, pip install bodo3. That's all I need. I think I have it installed. I do. Okay, so vim get pw py, or actually get sec py, and if we just paste this piece of code inside, this should basically do that. So this code should get me password, right? So if I say print get what is it? Get secret, like that. Okay, this is my vim causing me problems. So, one second, not that. Okay, and if I go here, and actually no, let's do it like this. If I do, is this doing Python? No, it's not. So I have to do Python, and get sec py function get secret at wait. How does one? So client session name, secret name. This actually pre-fills all the information you have to have here, but again, you can reuse this code. So get secret, it doesn't output anything. Okay, so decrypts using the password. If secrecy secret equal. Wait. How does this do it? So this is error handling. That's all okay. So it has to be a secret. So can I do get secret dot secret or like that? I guess. Trendline. A question in Serbian. The question is, which plugin for fish begins with this thing? I don't know. Which fish? Which plugin are you talking about? I am. If you're asking for the PS1 thing, I am using Oh My Fish, and I'm using install Fisk. Fisk is the basically the theme or whatever. So that's it. I'm using Oh My Fish for a lot of different things as part of my fish thing. So okay, this doesn't work. If I do it like this, if I do print secret like that, would this work? Why wouldn't this work? Oops, because Python 3. Now there's different ways to do this. I'm actually trying to use this code because why not? So let me Python. Doesn't work. Okay, so or decoded binary string. Like that, would that work? No. Okay, so this thing should get my secret, but I don't know how does it do it. So there might be an example how to do it. So it tries to get secret. That's fine. Get secret value response is that, and then get secret value response is that. Is that how it does it? Interesting. Okay, well, we'll figure this out, but I just want to make sure that this still works, that this has been created. So we have a bunch of databases here, perfect. And our CDK has actually finished. But here's one thing about CDK, and I've actually noticed this last week. So this is not a CDK stream, and I'm not going to be talking about CDK exclusively, but if you create a CDK RDS database in CDK. So if you define like this, where is it? So here we go, an RDS database. So if you define an RDS database in CDK, it actually uses Secrets Manager to store the password, because you cannot define a password in CDK for RDS. So I can just define a username, nothing else. But what it does is actually, if I go to my secrets here, I will see that there's an Aurora secret code, right? So I have basically this secret already created for me by CDK. So let's see how can I actually access this secret, right? So the easiest way to kind of demonstrate this is without diving into like Python stuff, which I failed at apparently. So let me exit, and then we can use the AWS CLI, right? We can do, actually let's make this fun. AWS shell, right? Let's use the shell. For those of you who do not know what the shell is, it's basically a better way to do CLI on AWS because it kind of offers a lot of more suggestions here. So if I would be doing a secrets manager like that, well, bam, I can actually describe a secret. Well, bam. Oops, sorry. What else? Describe secret. Wait, am I not doing it correctly? Secret manager, describe secret, right? Like that. And then I have to basically do secret ID and paste, and I have to get the secret ID is basically its name. So this is the secret ID, which sounds much more ominous. It's not very secret, but it is the ID of the secret. So if I would paste it here, should this work? Okay. AWS shell is broken apparently. So let's go back to the good old AWS Secrets Manager. It's manager, describe, secret, and then a secret. Well, bam. And I will get the description of the secret. So, and what this secret basically gives us here, it's has a bunch of tags, it has version stages, version IDs to stages, and those kind of things. Also, you can have multiple versions of the secret. So that's also a great thing. If I change the version, it will be different, right? And basically to get the secret, I would have to do the AWS Secrets Manager. It's Manager Secrets Manager. I actually need to get secret value, I think. Value, is it like this? It's not, get secret value, okay. And then I just need secret ID and paste the secret ID, and I should be able to get the secret value. And the secret value is basically this secure string, right? So you can see that I have a password here, that's this complicated password. Now, you cannot use this password because this database is behind a private subnet, so it's perfectly fine that you see it here. But basically this password here is, for my password, there's also a bunch of other things like an engine, port, and also there's a connection string. So that's pretty cool. And this is basically what I have right now. And that's the simplest way to retrieve this password. Of course, you can get the secret also from like just retrieving it here, but that's again not the smartest of things, or well, actually not the most useful things. Elliot, good evening, Darko. Do you have an example of this being used in production? I cannot name a customer, but I know a lot of folks who use this in production. I mean, this is how you would use it. Like, of course, you will not do it. Most likely, you would not get it through the CLI. But let's say you have an application. Let's say you have an application in Java, right, or JavaScript. You would have something like this piece of code that would actually request that password or that secret from Secrets Manager before it makes a call to a database. So, for example, it's been a long time, but like. If you have an application that has like a configuration stage or something that happens initially, it will request this password from AWS, and then it will do something based on the password. It will cache the password locally, absolutely, but seeing that you can rotate a password at maximum once per day, a cache of 1 day is good. So if your application has a way to kind of check or invalidate a cache, it would do it every day or every 5 days or 10 days. So it will constantly be using the new password as well. So that's how it should be used. Like me showing it to you in like CLI and even showing it on here. This is not how people use it. People use it in the application with anything that has an AWS SDK. Now, this might be some limitation that you need the ability to invoke our API, right? So be that through a proper SDK, like an SDK for Java, JavaScript, C#, Ruby, Python, Go. Or if you want, there's an actual API endpoint that you can hit, like make an actual REST API call against AWS, but you have to pass proper keys and all those things. So that's how you do it. Now, the only thing that happens here is like, you can define specific permissions for the secret. Now, the user that I'm using here to access the secret is an administrator user. And this user has all the permissions and they're able to request this, right? And of course, the way you would go about this, you would probably use something like JQ if you were using like the CLI. I need the JQ. So 1 second, JQ. JQ is a JSON parser on the CLI. It's like the super amazing tool that helps you in all the JSON parsing. So if I would be doing something like this, I would go, 1 second, let me see if I have an example of that. So let me have a look. Secrets Manager, what is the name of my, how can I get just the password? So I can just pass it to JQ. I can do JQ and do something like a secret string like that. Would that work? And yeah, and then I can do like that and then just do dot password. Like that. I suck at JQ, so there's a way that you can use JQ to do this as well. So Elliot, okay, so in fact that it should be safer than using password in, let's say, an N file, or so it's easier to keep them safe. Absolutely, it's easier to keep them safe. And also, Elliot, I'm not sure if you've been here from the start, but one of the key things here is you can rotate passwords. So if you keep passwords in your own environment file, so let's say you are using this on a fleet of servers. You have 10,000 servers, right? Now, you can absolutely tell those servers and say, hey, just reach out to a bucket or an endpoint or somewhere to get some file which contains the password. That's fine. You need to kind of, you need to build yourself some sort of a mechanism to constantly rotate those passwords somewhere else and then make sure that they're available on that side. And also you need to ensure that there's a method for you to identify or authenticate against that repository where your password sits. So that's very important. And Secrets Manager is kind of like, of course you can do this all yourself. Like Secrets Manager is not something that's magical, right? It's not something that you cannot make yourself. If you're tech savvy enough, you can do this with an S3 bucket, absolutely. But I would argue that it's much easier to make an API call that gets you a bunch of JSON back and just deal with JSON instead of getting a file, reading a file, and doing something with the content of that file. So it's much faster in this case, right? And you don't have to worry about buckets and permissions to that bucket, etc. So it would be much better this. Plus also the integration with actually rotating password, it's much better. So actually, let me show you that. So if I go to secrets, there is this secret that I've created with my RDS, but actually let's create a new secret for the new database. So what my username is admin, I guess, right? And the password I think I entered this bad password, password 123, right? That's the bad password. And I'll select this database instance, right? Next, give it a name. I'm gonna call it stream db or I don't know, AP, what's called unicorns, right? Main password for my unicorn DB. Like that, click next. And then if I enable automatic rotation, it will actually create a new Lambda function. Now it doesn't ask me to, hey, pick a Lambda function. You can pick an existing Lambda function if you want, but you can actually create a new Lambda function, right? Give it a name, right? So I can say like a stream rotate RDS, right? And it will use this secret, right, to rotate perform the rotation, and that's it. So it will rotate my password every 30 days. It will use that Lambda function. Now you can always have a look at that Lambda function because it will generate random passwords, right? So I believe it's made that it will generate a random RDS requirements password for you. And from this moment on, you don't ever have to worry about what is the password of that or not. So that's a really great thing here. So that's kind of a secrets manager thing, right? So let's actually, once this is being created, I really want to see if I go to Lambda, I want to see what does this function look like. Oh, thank you, Elliot, for the follow. less modified, so it's still not created. It takes a moment or so for it to create a Lambda function. Here it is. Well, I need a coffee. So let's have a look. How does this function? How does this function actually function? So, okay. So what does it say here? This handler uses a single user rotation scheme to rotate RDS MySQL user credential logs into the database and uses the. Okay, so it's smart about this. Like it uses like the PyMySQL, right? It uses actual Python MySQL ability. So it uses this the current password to actually connect to the database. So it makes a MySQL, because the only way to change a password on a database is to make a MySQL call, right? So this does it for you, right? So I'm wondering, how does it do it? Create secret. Okay, so it has some exclude characters, password. It gets a random password. Okay, so it creates a random password. I bet there's a function that does get random password. This is absolutely, I would say, in big environments and serverless functions. And I mean, to be honest, anywhere. I mean, I would use this for anything, because why do I have to care about managing my passwords, right? I don't. I want to say, I want to point my application that has permissions for Secrets Manager, say, hey, your password is there, and that's it. Don't worry about it. So that would be kind of the best way to approach it, right? So it has a did I see it somewhere? Function, get connection, get secret, set secret, create secret. Yeah. So basically, it generates a password somewhere. I think that there is somewhere a function, or maybe it's a built-in function to generate a password. So yeah, that's very cool. So this is how this Lambda function functions, and it's again, if you want to do something yourself, you're absolutely free to do. And this is just kind of a quality of life thing that, hey, if you're using RDS already, here you go. Here's an example how you can do it easily. Now, if you want to do something custom, you know, your unicorn factory, this is somewhere you would write your own Lambda function to do this for you, right? So again, perfectly possible on your own end. All right. Let's actually jump into something else. So I want to show you Parameter Store. And Parameter Store is I wouldn't call it Secrets Manager's younger brother, because I think Parameter Store came out at the same time as Secrets Manager did, or roughly around the same time. And they kind of do the same thing, but Parameter Store has a focus for parameters. And Parameter Store is also a great tool that does a lot of things. Actually, does one thing and does it very good, right? And it's used all over the place, from CloudFormation to, well, any other application that requires things or parameters from somewhere, right? So it's super useful, and you will see me use it a lot. I'll give you a great example. Now, this is kind of a completely out of left field example when it comes to Parameter Store, but let me show you this. Oh yeah, Chris. Yeah, there you go. So let me show you my favorite thing about Parameter Store, and I found this out like a few months ago. So, and this is kind of like completely, it seems useless, but trust me. So parameter, let's do it like that. SSM get parameter, like that. Get parameters by parameters by path, right? I'm trying to get a parameter by path. Let's just do it better like this. And then let's define a path. What's the path? Root /AWS /service /global global infrastructure /regions /AF South 01, or actually 1, services. And then -- output JSON. What does this do? It outputs all services available in the region of AF South 1, right? So Africa South 1, so it's our first region in South Africa. If you wanted to know which services exist in that region, which services are available in that region, you can use Parameter Store to do that. Now let's actually make this a bit nicer. So again, this, and I can just pipe this into our lovely JQ, and I actually have the parameters like that, dot name. I have a sort, and I'll do just a few of them. Head 10. It will sort all the services available, well, actually just the top 10 services here, available in AF South 1. So if you ever are interested in which service is available in what region, or actually which services are available in this specific region. So what is the Milan region? EU South, it's also a new region, right? EU South 1. You can do this as well. Like you can get this as well. So, and what they do here? What does parameter store have to do anything with it? Well, there's a thing called a global parameter store. So you have your local parameters, like everything that's sitting in your account, there's a parameter for it. Well, you can define a parameter, but there's also a thing called a global parameter store, which contains some global information for you. Like for example, which service is available in which region, right? So which, if you want to get all the regions, you can also do it. Like it's weird, but you can do it. I think you can do it like this. If I would just delete this, I think I would get like regions, all the regions, for example, right? Or if I just remove the head, I can get all the regions available. So there's a bunch of regions existing out there, and the services and all the things available in the global parameter store, which is accessible from any AWS account. So that's pretty cool. One great use, DeAndre, this is when Cape Town was launched. This was the first thing I ran. Like, okay, let's see what else is available there. You can actually do this on a specific region. I think you can also get. There's a way to do this for just a service. You can get the availability of a service per region. So I forgot the exact. Let me see if I can find it, because actually a long time ago I tweeted this out, and there is a way that you can actually get the exact, like, instead of querying for a region, you can query for a service. And I'm trying to find if I did this somewhere. And I remember I tweeted about this thing at one point when the region was launched. So let me see if I can find it in a moment, because I kind of know where it is. So where is it? Okay, we're getting close. Getting close. Aha. Found it. So if I do it like this, I need to change this to value, and then infrastructure services. Look at this. Infrastructure, instead of regions, I can do services and do things like, hey, Cloud9, right? Everybody likes Cloud9. If I do this, no, not that. Wait, Cloud9. Wait, my bad. Yes, Cloud9. But then if I do regions, I get all the regions where Cloud9 is available. So, or actually, like that. Yeah, I get all the regions available where Cloud9 is available. So that's really cool. If you want to use a service and you're not sure which region does it belong to, and you do not wish to go through a bunch of regions in the web console, or even just scour the documentation, this will tell you where a specific service is available in what region. So that's a really neat thing. But again, this is not the biggest use case of parameter store. One of the biggest uses of parameter store is actually doing something with CloudFormation. So let's actually make a dummy CloudFormation template. So if I do a TMP, and let's vim parameter store .yaml, and let's do like how does it do it? Resource? I forgot. It's been a long time. Resources, or actually lowercase resources, and I will do like my EC2 instance type AWS EC2 instance properties. Peak of humanity. Bit off topic. No big question. How do you get the nice status bar at the bottom of your terminal? So okay. Off topic. That's actually, I'm using Tmux, or a terminal multiplexer, which is basically the ability for me to get multiple tabs, as you can see here on the bottom. And it's just an open source tool that helps you do that. Now the nice bars is actually part of, it's not a plugin even, it's actually just, if I go here and I open up vim tmux.conf, there is basically, this is how it looks. Yeah, And this is it. Like these couple of lines here. I'm happy to share this with you if you're interested on that. It's not the feature of my terminal. This works on any terminal you have. Literally, I can run this on. I'm not sure. Is this like a GNOME terminal? Yeah, I run this on GNOME terminal. I can run this on Xterm or whatever supports. Yeah. So it's answered tmux. So where is this thing? Yes, properties. What do I need from an instance? Let's say image. I'm actually no instant. I forgot. Let me AWS. I need to find. I always forget how do you do. Yeah, Andre says if you don't want to go crazy like tmux, you can use iterm2. iterm2 also has. Well, iterm2 actually has tmux built in, so you can use that as well. So, wait, I have an example. Let's do something better. CD. You know what? I don't want to keep on searching. I just want to do this. Control C. Where are you? Our repos. This building in the cloud. There is a template here. Yeah, there we go. Copy this, paste it into TMP, and paste it here. Will you commit today's codes and commands? I can share this with you. I'll make a gist for it because it was just a bunch of commands, but I will do that, absolutely. So if I go to TMP and then template. So this is a simple CloudFormation template that basically creates an EC2 instance, right? So it creates an EC2 instance, actually creates an EC2 instance based on what type instance I chosen. But one of the things I can do here in image ID, instead of actually defining an image ID like this from a map, right? Having to manually enter things, I can actually reference an instance ID from parameter store, right? So I can do it in this way. So image ID, let me actually get the example. I have it here. There is a way to get like the latest AMI. 1 second. I don't want to type this from the top of my head. There it is. Yeah, so one of the things I can do here is actually do it like this. So I can do AMI ID like that. I can actually no, reference the AMI ID. So do ref, and the ref is actually going to point to a parameter. So if I create a parameter here called AMI ID, and then type is string. Actually, no, type is the following. Yes, this is how it works. AWS SSM parameter value, and then you have to do it like this: AWS EC2 image ID. Like it's weird, but that's how it works. And then the default is this. You can do /AWS/service/AMI. Let's use a Windows one, right? Windows, and that's the example I have here. Latest, and then you can do Windows. What is it? Server 2016, right? 2016 English core containers, right? This will basically, by default, I don't even have to enter an AMI ID at all. It will find the latest Windows 2016 AMI available in AWS, and it will get you that AMI ID. So that's a really great way to use these things. One example would be also like, let's actually see what kind of what kind of things do we have on parameter store. So if we go here, I guess, or where's the thing that we've been working on? This one? No. Looking at here. So AWS parameter SSM parameter parameter store get parameters by path, and then path, and what did we say? AWS, right? AWS, no, service, and I think I can just do it like that. No, get parameters by path. Aha, I have a additional thing here. Not a valid namespace. AMI Windows latest. This should work. Okay, I'm getting a bunch of things. Yeah, there you go. So you get basically all the different types of Windows AMIs available here. So as you can see here, I can query a specific one, right, by actually going to the specific path, like you see 2016 English core. You can also do the same thing, like if this doesn't work. This, for some reason, this is empty. Yeah, and okay, so you have to do something path like that. You have to do AMI Linux latest, if I can do that. No, it doesn't. It's not valid. So there is a list of SSM global parameters, or public parameters. Yeah. So you can access these things from, well, anywhere, right? So they're available for everybody anywhere, and they can be very useful, from things like, hey, you know, AMIs. There we go. AMI public parameters. What else do we have? That's AMIs, that's okay. EKS, like if you want to get the EKS image, there we go. This is the example of me showing you getting all the available regions, right? Yeah, all the regions available, all available services in right now. This is basically the example I gave you, which region supported, and a bunch of other things. So these are the things that are available currently, and you can find these things out. So pretty cool, like local zones, if you're interested in local zones, so that's also very good. But besides these things, if you want to use parameter stores for yourself, right? So, okay, so parameter store supports secret strings. Let's have a look. So it's actually in Systems Manager. If I go to parameter store, and let's create a parameter, right? So now the way you can do a secure string, it's basically, the only difference here is when using a parameter, just like a string or a string list, compared to a secret or secure string, is basically it's encrypted. That's the only difference. Now, I would advise that you should encrypt everything, no matter what you're doing, and that's the only difference here. Now, can you store passwords in parameter store? Absolutely, you can. Should you? Depends. If you have, you know, hundreds of passwords and you don't rotate them for some reason, they're never rotated, right? Parameter store could be a solution for you. Let's say you have legacy passwords which need to be available, right? Need to be accessible, but you cannot change them for some reason, right? For example, let's say you have mainframes or something that, you know, you don't change passwords to for some weird reason, but you don't need, you're not doing that. It would be cheaper to host your parameter, your secret in parameter store as a secure string than it would be to keep it on Secrets Manager, because, hey, you're not rotating those things, right? So that would be kind of a reason why would you do it here. Again, even on parameter store, you might keep some secure things here, right? For example, Secrets Manager can keep a specific string. I think there's a 2 kilobytes or no, there's a limit on how many characters you can have. So yeah, this has 8 kilobytes of value, but a secure string can have only, and secure string it's only a key pair value. That's it. Parameter store stores anything, right? So if I do, you know, secure string, I can basically specify anything here. But if I use like a string, or basically I can do a JSON. I can pass on like a lovely JSON object here that has something, right? It gives me much more flexibility on parameters. So let's say you want to store a secure JSON object, right? Something that has a bunch more things than just a password. You can do that in parameter store. On Secrets Manager, you cannot store JSON objects. You can just store key pair values, which in essence is a JSON object. But if you want more complexity with a JSON object, then you would use parameter store. But when you're using parameter store, you're giving up the ability to do things such as rotate passwords. That's kind of a thing. So to create a parameter, I would basically say, give it a name, call it prod, and then can I do it like that? Unicorn. Can I do this one? Yeah. Unicorns, prod, passwords, or no, not passwords. Let's call it instance types, right? So let's say I have a thing that I have a product or a workload that's called unicorns, and I want to say use instance types, right? If I say, hey, instance sizes to be used, and I can just say a string is basically, so I can say like this, size, yeah, size equal T3 micro, right? And that's it. So if I create this parameter and then reference it from CloudFormation, from anywhere else, it's going to be using this value. What's great about this is, I have not showed you this, but I don't have the time as we're on the top of the hour right now. But if you create an RDS database through CloudFormation and store the parameter password in parameter store, and then you change the password in parameter store manually, right? You go in and just change it to something else, and you trigger an update of CloudFormation. CloudFormation will pick up that change, pick up that has actually been changed, and update your database itself. So that's another way you can kind of rotate passwords on RDS with parameter store plus CloudFormation. But again, it's better to do it with Secrets Manager. Cool. So let me actually get back to my little lol banner here so I can wrap up my soapbox thing here. Lol banner, parameter store. Perfect. Thank you everybody for joining. I hope you, just to kind of wrap it up, Secrets Manager and Parameter Store. Secrets Manager is fully for secrets and confidential information that requires rotation. It requires rotation. It gives you the ability to access anything without the password, without having to know the password. Your application goes to Secrets Manager saying, hey, I have permission for this password. Secrets Manager passes it on that value, and then the application does whatever, connects to a unicorn factory or whatever. That's a secret, and then also it can rotate your passwords. Parameter Store, while it cannot rotate your passwords, it has the ability to store large JSON objects, large 4 or 8 kilobyte JSON objects, and you have the ability to access them from anywhere, from CloudFormation, from CDK, from SAM, from any of the infrastructure as code tools, from your applications, whatnot, right? You can store secure things, and secure things in Parameter Store are basically just encrypted things. And on top of that, there's a thing called a public Parameter Store where you can get things such as AMIs, latest AMIs. You can get like regions, local zones, availability zones, which service is available in which region, and what services are available in what region. Yeah, so a bunch of different things. So that's it. Secrets and passwords, Secrets Manager. Parameters and maybe some passwords in Parameter Store. So thank you very much. This has been a lovely presentation. I've been asked about this thing quite a bunch, so I'm happy that I was able to deliver this to you. Thank you for being part of the stream. I will be posting the recording of the stream on YouTube tomorrow, most likely, or on Monday, so one of these days. So if you missed some of it, make sure to check it out on there. And I will be posting most likely the timestamps, time codes in the bottom, so people don't have to look at my face for an hour. So. And as promised to DeAndre and Peak of Humanity, I will be posting some code on social media. So make sure to follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, or wherever. I will be posting that code on YouTube as well and there as well. So you'll find it for sure. So the commands I used today and my tmux configuration as well. I wish you have a nice Friday evening. Not Friday. Almost Friday. Thursday evening. My name has been Darko Mesaros, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Bye-bye. Oh, it was not a presentation. No, it's not a presentation. It was a stream. I'm sorry. It sounded like a presentation. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Bye-bye.